we are today.
That's okay. We've had a very we've had a good sleep basically. That's probably the problem.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm adjusting sound. I hope it's okay.
Okay.
If you're watching and you can't hear us, please shout. Not that you would be able to hear me, but you know.
I'm sure someone will type something.
Yeah.
Right. So what's happened today? The race walk. Should we start with that? That was the top of the day.
Yeah. I had it on in the background. I think I was drifting in and out of consciousness as it was on.
Yeah, I watched the first half and then just fell asleep. So I just saw lots of dinners stopping and starting for about 2 hours.
I did enjoy his trip to the toilet.
Yeah, many times. And then it looks like he didn't finish. I didn't even check the results. That was sad.
Yeah, unfortunately for him.
So I wish I woke up for the end though, because it looked like it was quite a close-ish race for Evan to get the bronze.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see him get the bronze. He's such a nice guy, always on Twitter, always engaging with fans, clearly such a big fan of the sport. So delighted that he's got an Olympic medal there.
Yeah, after what happened in Rio as well, when he was fourth and all that.
But it's not sort of the it's not the podium I would have expected there.
No, I don't think Poland, Germany and Canada were the expected top three. And yeah, even Spain and Portugal 4th and 5th as well. So yeah, that was the excitement of the 50k walk.
Yes.
What else have we had today? Let's go for it in order. I woke up. I wasn't going to wake up and watch the hockey because I thought I needed some sleep. But I set my alarm for what I thought would be the final quarter, and I did wake up, and it was 3-3. And it was the final quarter, and I woke up and saw us score that goal to get the 4-3 win and win the bronze. So I timed it well.
Yeah, and that's great for Britain. I don't know how many consecutive Olympics that is on the podium, but I can think we were on the podium in Beijing as well. Yeah, we won both bronzes in Beijing. So that's at least 4. I don't know if I can't remember.
I'm going to check. I don't think we got one in Athens. Yeah, it was like you say, it's good considering the teams changed a lot. So
from Rio especially, Great Britain, most of the gold medalists from 2016 retired on that high, which is completely understandable. But it's good that we've been able to get back into medal shape there with pretty much a brand new team. There's a few, we've still got Maddie Hinch in goal, but other than that, it's a lot of it's changed.
Yeah, it was 2012. We were 5th and 6th in 2009.
I could have sworn we won a bronze medal in 2008.
So I remember the one in London was the big one. It was like, we finally got a medal, finally. After there's 92 was the last time. I remember that when I was a kid. Jane Sixsmith, she was in that team. Yeah, so yeah. There you go.
There we are. What do I know?
Yeah, I guess you were young.
I was young, yeah, and I've something about the way that the Olympics is that there's so much to watch that when it comes to like a big sort of tournament team sport, I've not necessarily followed it so closely because I don't feel like I've got the time to devote to something that's just a small part of a big 2-week tournament when there'll be entire Olympic gold medals decided in a single afternoon.
Well, let's go through what else happened today. Lauren Price won the boxing semi-final to make the finals. That's for the guaranteed medal.
Yeah. Silver at least, hopefully. Hopefully she can get a gold because we've not quite got that gold medal.
We're hoping for 20 golds, aren't we? And I think there's 2 boxers in finals to come, isn't there? So fingers crossed.
And yeah, we haven't yet got a boxing gold, despite we've got lots of medals so far in the boxing.
Let's talk about the modern pentathlon, because that was exciting.
Yes, this is what I set my alarm clock for this morning.
Me too. I watched the swimming. I think I woke up in time for Kate French's heat.
Yeah.
And then, she set a PB, which is great. So, yeah, it was good. Yeah. And then what? Because it's all quite condensed now. Obviously, I know next time it's going to be in 90 minutes. So it's going to be more condensed.
And I've no idea how that's going to work. How can you run a show jumping competition in 90 minutes?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. But anyway, so Kate French set a PB in swimming, looking really good. Obviously, we knew she had a good fence yesterday, so it was a winner stays on thing. And she was what was she? She
was 4th or 5th going into the combined event.
Yeah, I think she was, and then she had decent show jumping, which put her 5th, wasn't it? Yeah, she was 6th going into show jumping, went up to 5th, I think.
Yeah.
And then that was, to be fair, she shot very well. I think that was the thing. I knew she could run well, but it was more the shooting night, especially the
Yeah.
last one. She just was like bosh, 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 bosh.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that was it.
The first one was good because that got her up into fourth, and then she had a really good run. And then that one, she was not. That was her worst shoot. Was the second one when she kind of stayed third, I think, whatever. Didn't. But then that was when she overtook the lead and got the massive lead. And then that was when she was like, again, she kind of left as they were arriving. I was like, okay, this is going to be good now. But it was Assetas Gaite, the Lithuanian, who won the 2012 Olympic title, who is the best at laser run. That's absolutely her event. And I remember looking at after the first shoot, I was like, well, she's like, as I know she's so good, I was like, she's 45 seconds behind. I was like, surely today she's just not going to go medal. That's just too much. And then all of a sudden it's like cuts to her and she's like just catching everyone up. And she started off 13th and then ended up getting a great silver.
But in the show jumping portion of the competition, it was very disappointing for the German competitor who was in first. I can't remember her name, but she had a massive lead on the rest of the field. But even before her round started, she was having a battle with her horse. She was absolutely in tears, and I think she did seem to get pretty much the worst horse that was there.
Yes.
Although I don't think, with my knowledge of horses, I think the worst thing you can do is panic, because a horse will feel that. So she probably made the situation worse for herself. Of course, that she was suddenly realising that, oh no, my gold medal chances are going, my perfect modern pentathlon's just sort of going to end here. And it was disappointing, and I would like it if the modern pentathletes had more time to get familiar with the horses.
Well, 90 minutes, not going to have time to even say
that. It's because I just don't think it's... I know that the idea of the modern pentathlon is like, making the ideal soldier, or what Pierre de Coubertin thought was the ideal soldier. And that one of the things was riding an unfamiliar horse. But I just don't think that in the span of, 5 jumps, you can get an actual good idea of how good a rider somebody is. So I think I'd like that to be revised a bit and give them more...
I mean, it's always been the case, hasn't it? I guess with this event, there's always been the one random horse that's ruined it for someone.
Yeah.
It just happened to be the gold medalist who was leading by a long way.
Yeah, but I did find that heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah, she was sobbing. It was really tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what a shame. It was the only horse, I think, that didn't score in either rider.
Yeah, it was... Because, I mean, yeah, you do get the great sort of variation in horses, and I think that does depend on the host country as well, and sort of how good the horses are that the organising committee are able to get a hold of. So it wasn't much of a problem in London, but in countries, Japan and Brazil, where equestrian isn't as big of a sport, it's a bit more of a problem.
Still good fun though.
Yeah, it does add to the drama, if you're one who loves the drama.
But yeah, it was another gold for Great Britain. It was since Sydney that we had a gold in this event. It carried on our success in the event, which kind of dipped in Rio.
Yeah, the time that we were both there, so I think we might have jinxed it.
Yeah. We were the bad luck for the team. Although Kate French was there in Rio, and she was top 5 then, so she
I think I was sat with her family in Rio at one point.
Oh, there you go.
Not just like a small family, like she had like 30 odd people there with her.
We also had the 20k walk from the women in the athletics. Another gold for Italy, which I don't know if that was a surprise.
Well,
it feels like it was.
It's adding to Italy's success in the athletics, which is what we're going to discuss more. But it's been gold, and nothing else in the athletics. If it's not gold, they don't want it.
Exactly. So that was it. I didn't see any of it. I was too busy watching the pentathlon and the cycling, which we were also talking about. The Madison is back in the cycling programme, and we had our very first ever women's marathon final.
Yeah, what a return for the Madison. It was.
Yeah. Well, it was just in a way, it was actually quite a boring race, because it was just Britain winning every sprint and easily winning.
Yeah, but it was amazingly dominant performance, almost the perfect Madison. There were only a few sprints that they didn't win.
Yeah.
And also I loved hearing in their interview with the BBC that they were sort of talking about how they prepared for this, and that because they haven't had much opportunity to compete internationally, instead they were competing against under-23 British men, and using that to sort of prepare their race and work out their race plan, which is actually just I think is so genius, and it clearly paid off. And even things like making sure that they had the most fluorescent helmets, so they wouldn't confuse themselves with the Russian team.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They clearly thought about everything there, and So a very well deserved gold medal for Great Britain there.
Dominant victory. They won by almost double points, I think.
Yeah,
More than that.
and of course that makes Laura Trott the first British woman to win gold medals in 3 consecutive Olympics.
Yeah, huge achievement.
A huge achievement, and so now she's on 5 golds overall. She's still got the Omnium to come these Olympics, doesn't she? So she could get up to 6. That would level her with her husband in terms of gold medals.
And I guess the other medal on the track today was the men's sprint with Jack Carlin getting a bronze. Wasn't quite good enough for the final, but still another medal.
He's relatively young though, isn't he?
Yeah. It was unlucky that he did draw like the favourite in the semi-finals,
Yeah.
but either way, it would have been a silver or a bronze.
Yeah, but it was a good solid performance, and I think he could build upon that.
Yeah, and I want to say, did Katie Marchant, I think she made it through to the quarters of the women's sprint, which I think is tomorrow. So I think she had a...
I think she had a good morning.
So that's still going better in the velodrome with a gold and a bronze today.
Yeah, I don't think that we'll be too worried, now that we've got 2 gold medals in track cycling to add to the mountain biking gold and the BMX golds. I don't think that track cycling will be too worried about its funding.
No.
Now I think it will remain pretty much at a constant.
Yeah. I guess the athletics was the next thing, really, wasn't it? That was.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy athletic session. We had the men's 4x4 heats to begin with, which were rapid. I mean, we had did you have to break 3 minutes to make the final? Yes, you did.
Mm.
India's area record of 3:00.25 is not quick enough to make the final, which is ridiculous.
Belgium, the slowest qualifier.
They can still get a medal. Come on, Belgium.
But then, the USA, they were well ahead of everybody else, and it's likely that we'll see the entire team changed before the final.
Yes. And then Botswana, the area record, they were great actually. Very strong team. I don't know, did they run Makwala today?
They did
on
yeah.
the first leg, I remember now. Poland always looking good. Trinidad in the mix. Italy national record. Don't write them off.
Yeah, they'll win another gold that you just don't expect.
But to be fair, they've got a strong 4x4 team, haven't
They do.
Davide Ray and Scotti and Assetti.
Well, you mocked me for saying that they'd win gold at the European Indoors this year.
True.
I mean, they didn't, so maybe you had a point.
The Dutch, obviously national record as well. Jamaica and Belgium making up that final. Great Britain down in 14th.
Which, it's not that surprising.
We weren't
really.
last.
Yeah. It was not that surprising. The British men's 4x4 hasn't looked particularly impressive this year. I hope that it's just, we're in a transitional period, and we just haven't quite yet got the next generation through, and of course we've had Matt Hudson-Smith injured, so maybe things will start perking up in the next few years.
One thing that I wish had perked up today was the women's javelin final.
Yes.
It wasn't great. I mean, one with the first round throw from Liu of China. She drew 66-34, and then it was a bit more like even the other medals we kind of decided it in the first round or two. I mean, I know the measurements changed and Barber threw her best in the last round, but still.
I was hoping, because Andrejczyk, I thought that she was just going to progress through the competition and just get progressively further, and then it was either her second or third round throw, and then that was it. That was enough to get a silver medal.
5 centimetres from Barber, who was in third, so very close for a silver and bronze, but her song didn't even make the cut. 8 Australians in the top 8, but
3 Australians
in the top 8, and 8 Australians in the top 3. No, but it was one of the weaker field event finals, which is unusual that we're saying that. They've been so good. No, men's 5,000 metre final.
And the BBC continuity announcer told us that Britain had a medal chance in this.
Well, that medal chance finished 11th. Well, he got a season's best, so we can't complain too much. It was a fast race. All the medalists were under 13 minutes. Czech guy won it, and I was surprised. Not surprised, but I didn't think he'd actually get a gold at these games.
No, I thought that it was going to be, he did some crazy stuff in 2020, but 2021 was not going to be a year for dominance from him, and that he would just be sort of. I mean, he got a bronze in the 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I thought, he'll be on the podium, but not taking it home.
No, I had Kit Remo to win it, and he was 5th, so it wasn't too far. And I guess Katir was a hot favourite with the bookies. I understand why, but it's like also he's not really competed at Champs before, and he's a bit untested still. So I wasn't too surprised that he came 8th and didn't get a medal.
Because you were tipping him to do well at the Euro indoors this
Exactly,
year.
that I learnt my lesson. That Katir is not to be trusted in the championship.
I think it's part of one of the big factors that led to you shaving off half your beard.
Exactly, it was. I know. Katir, damn you. But hey, look at what Halfbeard did at these championships. So
with a well, I'd say a full stubble this time.
Yeah, he's obviously learnt his lesson as well. Ahmed of Canada got silver. Maybe could have won it if he was a bit closer at the bell. And Chalimo, elbows out, somehow managed to get a bronze for America. So no, it was a nice podium actually. Another feel good podium.
Feel good podium.
Which we had many of if we go to our next event, which was the women's 400 metres, which was another feel good podium. I mean, area record for Shawnee Miller-Weber, which I think shows you how quick it was.
Yeah.
48.36. She won by nearly a second, actually, from Paulina, who also set a national record with that 49.2. So that was the kind of 1-2 we were expecting, and we all thought McPherson was going to get the bronze. But no, Alison Felix managed to sneak in there with her season's best. Actually, the quickest time she's run since she won the Worlds in 2015. So
Yeah, and that's 5 consecutive Olympics with a medal there. And it's
individual medals.
Individual,
well,
yeah.
I know everyone's, she's just a great relay runner, but actually, 5 individual medals in 2 different events, but she obviously was 5th in the 100 as well, so good range.
Yeah, and it's nice to know that she hasn't had to go to the relays or rely on the relays to get that medal, because I think, it could easily be like, another 400 medal, kind of course it would be.
Yeah, but say even if you take out the relays, it's 1 gold, 3 silvers and a bronze individually, across 5 different games in one of the toughest events.
Yeah, so that longevity that she has is quite amazing.
Yeah, so McPherson was 4th and Jodie Williams 6th, equalling her PB from the semi-final, which is good to see.
Yeah, especially after how spent she seemed yesterday in the semi-finals, that she could go out there and run the same time. Great to see.
And then we had the excitement of the women's 1500 final, which was always going to be a 3-way fight, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah.
A lot of people tried to big it up as something else, but they took it out. It was fast. It wasn't a slow one. It was like, they're going to go for a good time here, which is good to see.
Very clear that those 3, they knew the ones to look out for when one of them made the move to the front. It's like, okay, I need to be there as well. And I mean, I was thinking for Laura Muir, I thought her best. I was thinking, if it goes well, she'll get a bronze.
So I was thinking I had a nailed on for silver.
Oh, I was just thinking that it would be Hassan and Faith Kipyegon. That would be 1-2. I didn't know which one would be 1-2, but I just thought that either way Hassan would somehow be ahead of Laura, and I'm absolutely delighted that I was wrong there. Because I think that something about Hassan, I'm not a big fan, and so for Laura to beat her with a new national record, new British record, it was because it was Paris 2016 that she set that record before, so it was just after she'd had that disappointing finish in Rio, whereas this time it's like, no, she performed at the absolute right time.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's someone who races well in a fast race, but also amazing for Faith Kipyegon there.
Yeah, Olympic record. Laura said in her press afterwards that she thinks Faith is the greatest 1500 metre runner of all time. She says she doesn't get the respect she deserves, and I agree. I mean, Olympic record, back-to-back champion, she's won absolutely everything, untouchable. That's why I was like, I didn't think Hassan was ever going to win this race. It's just not over 15. It's just not good enough. And also, Kipyegon is she's Faith Kipyegon. I guess Muir. The way the season's gone, I thought Muir would have the better of Hassan anyway, given how she's raced this year.
But with Kipyegon and Muir, it was lovely to see them going around doing their lap of honour together. There was clearly a lot of respect. But you said that you didn't think that Hassan would get 3 gold medals.
No, I don't think she'd get any gold medals, actually.
So, what do you think this means for the 10,000?
I still think Guide's going to win it. To be honest, maybe Hassan will get a silver, maybe she'll complete the set, get a gold, silver and a bronze. The 5k was always going to be her best bet ever gold.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't sure about Obiri, but I still thought Obiri was going to win it. And then, I think Kipyegon, this was always the least likely for her to win because of Kipyegon. And the 10k, depends how it's run, but Guide she should win it. She's the world record.
Yeah, of course, maybe she'll have a bit of a vendetta and she'll want to go for that world record, Hassan will want to get her record back. But I think that Guide's perhaps, she's going to be fresh and she's going to be more reliable. So I think I agree with you there.
Yes. And then we had the drama of the relays, which never let us down. Women's 4x1. Now,
No, well, I'm relieved to see that there's been no DQs there.
no, not yet anyway. So, national record for Jamaica winning it. USA second was 41.45 and Britain was a 41.88 for bronze. But it was messy.
Yeah, where I was going into it saying, oh yeah, Britain seemed to be the best drilled of these squads. They had the best changeovers in the qualifying, and I thought no reason to believe otherwise for the final. But I think after the first changeover, at first glance it looked like it was outside of the changeover zone,
Yeah.
and
Even on the first replay, I thought it was, well, but then the second replay, it
Yeah.
was literally on it.
Yeah.
You literally can't get any closer than that.
so it was messy. Yeah, and I think that's perhaps a big factor that we didn't get a medal. Oh, sorry, that we didn't get a better medal.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say because the other teams weren't great either. Like, I think Jamaica could have broken the world record, but even they had a dodgy change. USA had a pretty terrible final change. Yeah, and obviously Britain had two terrible changes. The second one was really dodgy as well. They were just going off a bit too soon, Amani and Dina. But then luckily, even we gave the baton to Darryl in fifth, and luckily she's in the form of her life and was
Yeah.
able to come through for a very comfortable bronze in the end. But again, you look at the times we ran the heats. Silver was up for the taking, and I think had Dina been fully fit, maybe even a gold. But
Yeah, even then, what a performance from Darryl to get up into the medals from there. She had a lot of work to do.
Yes.
I feel like in past championships it's been there's a lot of work to do and we leave it to Dina, but it's nice to know that we can leave Dina on the bend where she's absolutely fantastic, and Darryl can take it home and race brilliantly in the final stretch.
Yeah, so it was bittersweet in a way, wasn't it? Because it's like, oh, we got a medal, we haven't been DQ'd.
Yeah.
Other teams also made mistakes, so it's not too bad. I mean, overall, there was only the one national record was the Jamaicans. So
Yeah, I mean,
and they could have run quicker.
Yeah. This was probably the British medal that we got the least animated over, because I think we
all thought we'd mess it up.
we thought it was over after the first changeover.
And maybe we were expecting a better medal, but then the opposite happened in the men's race where we were like fifth, maybe.
Yeah.
Might sneak a bronze if it all goes well.
And then it was like probably on the second changeover, it was like, oh, they're doing okay.
Well, just from the start, to be honest, CJ had a great first leg. I was like, he started well. He's like up on the Jamaicans who were nowhere by the way. I don't know what happened to them compared to their heat. And then I expected Canada to be the big threat, and I did think Italy would get a medal, but then it was like, oh, Zarnell's winning a great leg as well. That was a fully stretched changeover, CJ to Zarnell. CJ basically nearly fell over. It was that, literally no time lost there whatsoever. And then Kilty ran a blinding bend, and it was like, okay, we're actually in the lead here.
Yeah.
And then Mitchell Blake versus Tortu, I think, given the current form, was always going to be tough. And it just happened to be that Tortu, with a great dip as well,
Yeah.
just got him on the line by the 100th, which was a reverse of in 2017.
But yeah, I did not expect, Britain to be losing out on a gold from a dip in that race.
I know, none of us did.
That wasn't a vintage British squad. They've not been, at least in terms of form, in terms of this year, none of them have been great. It didn't have Jamili, who's...
Exactly. Jamili, fully fit Jamili on that bend, probably would have won it by a tenth.
But yeah, I think that is probably the most animated I've got, in that once when Britain crossed the line in second, I literally fell to the floor.
Yeah, and Canada, who I thought were the warm favourites, just didn't have a great race. Either De Grasse was only like 5th or 6th when they got the baton. He did well to get up for bronze. So yeah, it was a strange race all round. I mean, credit to Italy. I mean, Jacobs is double Olympic champion now. And but then people think, oh, where did they come from? But it's like, okay, Jacobs won the European indoors. He was a former long jumper, so he was going to have a breakthrough at some point. It just happened to be at the Olympics. Tortus were world finalists, great junior, European junior champion, everything, always rapid anyway, and especially in a relay. And even like Desaldo's been around for a while, and he's been making semis and finals and running on the circuit. So I don't actually know who the third guy is, but he did very well.
I mean, fair play to Italy. It was they've had an amazing squad that's been building for a good few years now, and it's. It
was one of these two. Was it Pata?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to decide I wasn't there.
But that's that made it Italy's 5th gold medal in athletics at these Olympics.
Well, you should say the 2 in the walks, the 2 sprint. Jacobs got 2, and obviously Tamberi.
And then you add that to their European Championship football title as well as the Eurovision Song Contest this year,
I know.
getting only their third victory in that. So it's what a year for Italy.
Yes.
And if they would just let us, win something, I'd quite appreciate it.
Yes, it would be good. I guess we should mention that the women's marathon is starting an hour earlier tomorrow, by the way, or tonight.
Yeah. Yes, it turns out Sapporo is hotter than Tokyo at the moment, so it's not quite worked out.
But they've only told them, the athletes are only found out when they were going, they might not have found out yet because a lot of them were asleep, so a bit dodgy scheduling there, but it does start at 10 p.m. UK time. So
So they might have a rude awakening from their coaches and support staff.
yeah, get up now, it's an Olympic marathon, it's an hour earlier.
So yeah, might be a fair few bleary-eyed women on that start line. Is it starting at?
So 10 p.m. UK time, which
Yeah.
is, what did it say here? It said
Is that 6
6
a.m?
a.m. Japanese time. And I think it was the same for the women's golf as well. The last round of that has been brought forward a few hours because they were expecting storms, I think, in wherever the golf is. I'm assuming it's Tokyo.
Something great at Tokyo area, I'm sure.
Nelly Collard, by the way, absolutely smashing that. 3 shots in the lead, so another gold for America, probably. Yeah, and Ireland aren't doing too bad, top 10.
No.
Yeah, so that was day 14.
14, yeah. I'm scared about how close we are to the end. I don't want to contemplate what my life will be
I know.
post Olympics.
Tomorrow's kind of the last full proper day, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really.
I mean we'll have some cycling on.
Yes, there is some cycling on Sunday. Actually, that's a good point. But when the relays and the marathons are happening, we're drawing to an end.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that was the thing watching the relays. It's like, I love a relay, but I'm not ready for this to end yet.
I know. Oh well. But I guess we'll be back tomorrow for our penultimate one.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do something on Sunday.
Yes, hopefully. You'll need to plan that.
Yeah, we'll work some stuff out. But yeah, thank you all for joining.
And yeah.
Bye.